Are you relying on AI SDRs to grow your sales, but you're not seeing the results as expected? What if the problem isn't the AI, but how you're using it? Welcome to the AnyBiz YouTube channel. I'm Eduardo, Ed for short, and today I'm gonna tell you 3 of the biggest mistakes you might be doing when using an AI SDR that is compromising your growth and your sales. So let's go through the first mistake: bad targeting. What is the problem with this? Many companies rely on generic lead lists that doesn't ensure that their AI SDR will target the right audience. This will lead to low engagement and wasted resources. And how does AnyBiz solve it? Let's go through AnyBiz and I'll show you. Here is AnyBiz. This is our dashboard. If you click here, you're gonna see this is how we start. And every time you're gonna do an outreach campaign, we need to configure an AI SDR, our agents. So if we see here, we have a lot of agents. If we configure right, we won't have bad targeting. What do I mean by that? When we configure our SDRs, we have tell them everything about what is our target audience. So let's take this one for example. If I go and see more details, I can see that I search for CEOs as positions that work in information and technology industry, that lives in the United States, that contact location is from the United States, that its location, its headquarters is in the United States, and that the company size has to be between 10 to 50 people. As you can see, I gave a lot of instructions on how our target audience looks, and as you can see, it gave us 232 pages of possible prospects that we are gonna outreach and create a message to try to initiate a conversation. So the more filters we use, as you can see, I didn't even use all the filters. I could have used keywords, buyer's intent, company name. If I wanted some specifications or some specific company, I could have given it more positions, not only CEO or co-founder. I could have gone for a salesperson or anything like that. The amount of funding, retail location, when it was founded, the company. So I can give it a lot of information. The more detailed I am, the more specific is gonna be my target audience, my prospects. But for this one, I wanted to be a little bit more broad. So it gave me 232 pages of possible prospects. And that is our cue to go to the next mistake: using the same outreach sequence for all prospects. So what is the problem with that? Not all prospects will respond the same for the same approach, in the same language, in the same mood. If you are used to using a one-size-fits-all for your sequence, it will limit the kind of engagement you have from your prospects. So if your message is always the same for everyone will either not respond or be a little bit cold or know the way you talk. So the ideal way to talk to a prospect is, you know your target audience, you know what he likes, you know where he is, you know his culture, then you're gonna develop a sequence of messages for each prospect you have. But that's a lot of work. And how does AnyBiz gives us a solution for that problem? Let's take a look. When we come back here, we were talking about personas and our possible prospects and everything. In the same board, we have messaging. Here we can create our email follow-ups, our email introduction. But do we have to type everything? Do we have to, every single LinkedIn message, we are gonna have to type everything? No. If you see here, I have already a lot of introductions preset for different kind of targets. If I want to talk a little bit more formal with my prospect, if I want to talk a little bit more doing jokes or more funny or anything like that. So for example, this message here, this was for lead generation for an IT services and solutions company. This message was generated by AnyBiz AI. So for me to generate this message, I had to first go on language and tell what was the language I wanted to generate my message on, the tone of voice the message was gonna be written. So if I want more fun or more friendly or more casual, so I had to choose, I chose friendly. If I had a call to action specific, I tell AnyBiz, oh, what is my call to action, my kind of signature. I can can give it some guidelines to be more specific. So as you can see, it asks for prompts. As this is an AI tool, we have to give it prompts so we can generate the message more closer to what we want, and we can even select specific personas for this message. This will make sure that every single message will be different and I don't have to type the whole message, and I can generate an example for every single one. I can do it right now. If I click generate an example between everything we have already typed, it will, like right now in the time we're talking, it generated a new message for my prospects without me having to do anything, just guided how I wanted the message to be created. And that is also the answer for mistake number 3, spammy messages that gets ignored. What do I mean by that? If you generate a generic sales pitch with pushy language or anything that can trigger spam filters, your message can be blocked, it can bounce and will be landing in spam and will for certain be ignored by our recipients. So we don't want that. And AnyBiz already has built-in tools to avoid spammy language. So if you see our example, we don't have anything that can be marked as spam and can be used as directly a message in its email or on a LinkedIn message or anything like that. So you don't have to worry with the language if it's gonna sound spammy, if it's gonna have a lot of links, or if it's gonna be pushy or forcing you to do anything. So AnyBiz already has filters in line to have the best messages it can have to not fall in the spam folder in its emails or anything like that. Those 3 mistakes are very important, but they are not only mistakes that exist. One of the mistakes we didn't talk about is the lack of human oversight. Like, we filtered everything we wanted the AI to talk. So again, the language, the tone of voice, the call to action, some guidelines to the messages, but maybe people don't do that, and this is a problem, because if you just click one button, generate one message and send this to everybody, then we fall in the mistake number 2. Or people that ignore data as, for example, bounce rates. You're seeing that your emails are bouncing, you see that your emails are landing in spam, or that you written a message that doesn't get any response different from your other messages. So this is data and you're not iterating on it, you're not changing it or doing anything about it. So this is a problem also. Or another mistake, like not integrating your AI SDR with your ecosystem. Like, you're running your AI SDR without synchronizing it with your CRM or any marketing tool that you already use. So this is a problem also, doing tools in isolation without synchronizing its data. So we can do a lot of videos talking about a lot more mistakes. So if you want to see more videos talking about this kind of mistakes, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe so you can see our future videos, and in the comments tell me what kind of mistakes you think you do, and if AnyBiz covers anything. If you want to know the solution that AnyBiz has for any kind of problem like that, tell me in the comments your doubts. If you want to know if AnyBiz has a solution for that, or if you have a different solution for any of the mistakes that I've talked in the video. So that will be it for me today. If you want to know more, again, don't forget to subscribe, and that's it. Bye bye.